died in the line of duty and those who were injured while risking their lives to bring peace to his country. President Buhari and his guests exchanged views on how to counter the propaganda and threats of terrorist organizations such as Boko Haram, noting that their staff have often braced the difficult terrain to provide assistance to those in need. President Buhari urged the international community not to neglect those living on the fringes of Lake Chad who have lost their means of livelihood because of the impact of climate change and the monumental shrinking of Lake Chad from its original state. Giving a briefing on its projects in the country, the IOM Director General Antonio Vitorino told the president that his organization is partnering with the Borno State government on strengthening its humanitarian response capacity, including the reintegration, rehabilitation, and resettlement programs of the IDPs. He thanked the federal government of Nigeria for the unflinching support to IOM operations in the country. Earlier, at the invitation of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia, President Buhari participated at a high-level event on reinvigorating Pan-Africanism for a changing world held at the African Leadership Excellence Academy in the outskirts of Addis Ababa. The forum featured presentation of papers, lectures, and panel discussions on the recalibration of Pan-Africanism in the 21st century, as well as lessons learned from the African Union's peer review mechanism.
We cannot let constructed divides, geographic boundaries, and political ideologies hijack our Pan-African ideas. The crisis in global leadership calls for Africans to step up collectively and think beyond our confines. The changing world calls for a new brand of leaders that are agenda setters, creative thinkers, and solution makers.
At the end of the forum, President Buhari and other participating heads of state and government planted trees inside the African Leadership Excellence Academy to showcase the success and progress of Ethiopia's Green Legacy Initiative. From Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
It is the birth of a new dawn for the tourism sector in Nigeria as President Muhammadu Buhari assented to the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority Act 2022, passed by the National Assembly. Disclosing this to journalists in Abuja, the Director General Folarin Shokoka said with the new act in effect, the tourism sector will witness new initiatives that will sanitize the sector and generate huge revenue.
Since the enactment of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation Act of 1992, it has not gone through any form of review or amendment despite several years of social, political, economic changes in the country. The act, according to tourism experts, like most laws made under the military regime, is characterized by so many inadequacies and shortcomings. With the assent by President Muhammadu Buhari, key players said tourism will now play an important role in the growth and development of the economy, like it is done in other countries. The Director General, Nigerian Tourism Development Authority, Folarin Shokoka, speaks further on the highlights and benefits of the new law.
The new bill is speaking to, contemporary issues in tourism. It's not a draconian law. It's about collaboration between states and the federal government in raising revenues within the tourism industry. It's about the Tourism Trust Fund, which is now a vehicle that we use to invest in tourism assets. It's a renovation of an old law, simply in the interest of the business, the industry.
This new law comes up with the Conventions and Visitors Bureau, which every thriving country with tourism, every country that thrives to be good with tourism, has to have. It's best practice. With the act, the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, NTDC, will now be known as the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority, NTDA. Oyinaya Kalo Oka, NTA News.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo says improving the welfare of Nigerian citizens by investing in the health and well-being of women and children in particular remains paramount to the Buhari administration. The Vice President spoke at Iperu-Remo, Ikenne local government area of Ogun State, where he inaugurated 2 federal government human capital development projects. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
And to the glory of the Almighty God.
The 100-bed mother and child hospital is located at Iperu-Remo, Ogun State. At the inauguration, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the projects symbolized the tremendous progress the federal government has made in achieving the sustainable development goals and promoting the health and welfare of the people.
The Mother and Child Center itself is directly linked to the achievement of SDG 3, on quality health and well-being for all, as well as other cross-cutting SDGs. The fact that the project was delivered so promptly underscores for all of us the government's recognition of the importance of healthcare facilities. This hospital is indeed an investment in the future, a testament to the women and children all over our state, indeed all families of Ogun State, that their well-being is our #1 priority.
The Vice President at the inauguration of our Skills Acquisition Center, also located in Iperu-Remo, explains that the federal government, in collaboration with states, has ensured the provision of places for the development of human capital.
In the last few years, the federal government has also taken several steps to improve the quality of life of our citizens. We have increased access to education, promoted sustainable agriculture, and improved infrastructure. Our objective has always been to provide opportunities for young people to have well-paying jobs. No young person should go through the frustration, the needless frustration of joblessness. This is why we have ensured that we provide, in collaboration with states and local governments, places for the development of human capital.
Other ongoing projects under the Sustainable Development Goals in the Ikenne local government area include the construction of 250-bed mother and child hospital, Ikenne, the construction of 36 classrooms at the Mayfair School, Ikenne, and another skill acquisition center at Ilishan. Vice President Osinbajo says government continues to make efforts towards attaining the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, noting that the projects were implemented by the Sustainable Development Goals Office in the presidency. Jide Onifade, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari this Sunday in Addis Ababa appealed to Nigerians for further patience as government has taken appropriate measures to ease hardship caused by some government policies. Let's see the excerpt.
Fellow Nigerians, God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable, and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Right, let's bring our attention back home. The attention of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has been drawn to a report circulating on social media claiming that operatives of the commission raided the home of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, in the forthcoming presidential elections and recovered the sum of 400 billion naira. The commission wishes to state that no such operation was carried out by the EFCC. The public is enjoined to disregard the report as fake news. The federal government says it has completed and handed over 64 internal road projects in various federal tertiary institutions as part of its intervention to make learning environment more conducive in the country. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, stated this during the inauguration of a road project completed by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing at Akano Ibiam Federal Polytechnic in Ebonyi State. Let's hear more from Kanayo Okoro.
The 2 kilometers roads link different parts of Akano Ibiam Federal Polytechnic, Owana, Ebonyi State. Represented by the Federal Controller of Works in charge of Ebonyi State, Mr. Steve Oluwadon, Mr. Fashola explained that the federal government had successfully intervened in 102 internal roads in federal tertiary institutions. The minister noted that while 64 had been completed and handed over, 38 were ongoing projects across the country at various stages of completion.
We have successfully intervened in 64 internal road projects in various federal tertiary institutions in the country as of January 2023.
We cannot but attest to the quality of work done, which will accelerate the smooth movement of people as well as reduce accident rate within the campus community.
Before, this road is not fine, but now the road is very fine.
Really, before when we come to the school, we stay more than so many before we pass through the school, but as of now, we really thank God how area is.
They called on the federal government to further reconstruct more internal roads in the school to further make difficult areas easily accessible. In Abakaliki, Kana Yokuru, NTA News.
All right, let's go on a break. We're back shortly. Stay tuned.
The Nigerian electoral system is seemingly simple, yet may be complicated for some.
It's for them to come and tell us what they have.
Running an election is equivalent to what? A job application.
I want them to identify the issues plaguing the common Nigerians.
PDP should focus on PDP and APC should focus on APC.
Let's show you what an election is all about as Nigerians pick the next president, governors and legislators. We interrogate their plans, question the rationale and review the prospects. Join us on the ballot.
Welcome back. The International Republican Institute, IRI, and the National Democratic Institute, NDI, has announced the deployment of a joint international election observation mission to Nigeria. The 40-member delegation, comprised of political and civil leaders, elections experts, and regional specialists from 20 countries in Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America and North America, received accreditation from the Independent National Electoral Commission to observe the February 25th elections. The statement added that the delegation is led by former President of Republic of Malawi, Dr. Joyce Banda, with the mission to show support and solidarity to Nigerian Democrats and contributes to the continued strengthening of the country's electoral processes and democratic institutions. IRI and NTA have deployed international election observation missions to Nigeria every general elections since 1999 transition from military to civilian rule. However, the delegation will conduct its activities in accordance with the laws of Nigeria and the Declaration of Principles for International Election Observation, which was adopted by the United Nations in 2005. The delegation's work is funded by United States Agency for International Development, USAID. An emergency meeting between the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress and the Progressives Governors President Muhammadu Buhari to intervene on the issues of the Naira redesign policy. This was the resolution of the meeting held at the National Secretariat of the party. Let's hear the details from Salihu Gwanara.
Ahead of the Saturday presidential election this week, a crucial stakeholders meeting took a position on the currency redesign policy that is generating mixed reactions from Nigerians. National Chairman of APC, Abdullahi Adamu, at the end of a closed-door engagement that lasted about 5 hours, said the meeting resolved on one agenda.
And this resolution is without prejudice whatsoever to the case that is lying in the Supreme Court at this point in time. That we urge the Attorney General of the Federation and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to respect the Supreme Court's order of interim injunction, which is still assisting. That the meeting is urging His Excellency, Mr. President, to intervene in resolving the issues that are causing these great difficulties to the people and to the economy.
12 APC governors and 2 deputy governors attended the meeting. Meanwhile, APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu also had a closed-door engagement with the leadership of the party in Abuja. Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party 2023 Presidential Campaigns Organization has held a strategic meeting with the party's National Assembly candidates, chairmen and directors of state campaign management councils in Abuja. Ahead of this Saturday's elections, Timothy Yusuf reports.
Having ended his political rallies last Saturday, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has started a new phase of consultation with party stakeholders. This strategic engagement with PDP National Assembly members and candidates provided a platform to promote collaboration in achieving victory at all levels.
When he is elected, and when, by the grace of God, all of us are elected, we are going to be working together. And that underscores the significance and importance of this meeting as considered by the PCC. All they want is to be carried along because they are going to protect all their federal constituencies. They are going to ensure that they protect their results. They are going to ensure that anything that has to do with you and your running mate will be protected.
We will do only those things that will promote the unity and prosperity of this nation to ensure that all the promises that have been made to Nigerians are kept.
The PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar is confident of victory as he recounts his experience as vice president in 1999 to 2007.
We must work together to take out the country from its present predicament. You are going to work with somebody who has worked with the National Assembly before and successfully too, facing an incumbent president and still making sure that we protected the Constitution.
I know that we'll win the popular votes. All we need to do is to defend those votes.
You are very, very lucky that the president you are going to have is an experienced person who has interacted over the years with the National Assembly for 8 years, so he knows how to work with the National Assembly.
The PDP presidential candidate and members of the party's campaign organization had earlier met with PDP members in Rivers State, where they assured him of victory, even in the face of their disagreement with the party's leader in the state. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
As part of efforts towards curtailing violence in the upcoming general elections for a credible and peaceful polls, the Nigeria Police Force has engaged personnel on a training session to map out strategies on how to checkmate thuggery and anti-vices before, during and after the exercise in Cross River State. Oba Hyacinth reports.
Were drilled on the role of police officers in election security management, crowd control, and respect for human rights.
Everybody here now knows his rights. The public there, they have their rights. We also we have our own rights. We are now equipped on how to deal with the public, in a more matured way. The area of alternative dispute resolution also was addressed also.
As an organization that's saddled with the responsibility of training police and making them well prepared for whatever assignments they are being sent to do, we felt it would be proper to kind of give them a pre-orientation before the process of the elections.
With less than a week before the commencement of the 2023 general election, officers say the training is apt and timely in preventing all forms of electoral malpractices capable of truncating the integrity of the electoral process. In Calabar, Oba Hyacinth, NTA News.
The Police Service Commission has appointed national, zonal and state coordinators to monitor the conduct of police personnel on election duty before, during and after the general elections. The Commission, in a statement, also approved the participation of about 360 of its staff to be led by Chairman of the Commission, Justice Clara Bata Ogumbi, and the federal commissioners in the process across the 36 states and the FCT. The Commission wants that it will sanction any police officer involved in any form of misconduct during the elections, as it is determined to ensure that policemen on election duties conduct themselves within the approved rules. That's Panorama. Thank you for your company. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.
Seventh Day International, live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTA. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Our pastors, our imams.
Fellow Nigerians, God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable, and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NTA, you can't beat the reach. Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Lens on Africa.
Welcome to the Window of Africa, a peek into the heart and motions of the land of warmth, color, and friendship. From art to entertainment, history to economics, we bring a view of Africa that is unique and refreshing. This week, we take a trip to the Okavango Delta in Botswana. We rediscover the fun people of Western Africa, and in entertainment, we talk Valentine celebration and podcast gone wrong, and a comedy skit also to icing up the cake. In conversation, we talk about cancer. So, enough small talk. Let's begin as we rediscover another intriguing African tribe, the Fon people.
The Fon people, also called Fonlu, Agaja, or Dahomey, are regarded as the ethnic group. They are the largest ethnic group in Benin, found particularly in its southern region. They are also found in southwest Nigeria and Togo. They speak the Fon language, a member of the Great languages. Among Fon traditional religion, Mau, Liza, are a couple, twins, or a female called Mau and a male Lisa, hermaphrodite divinity. For the Fon people, the world was created by Nana Buluku, who gave birth to Mau and Lisa. For others, Nana Buluku, Mau, and Lisa are all voodoos, and there is no all-powerful separate creator. Ego, the warrior and hunter god of iron, is central among all Fon groups. Some Fon people became Christians given their proximity to the coast. These ethnic groups were among the first to accept Christianity in the 18th and 19th centuries. The Fon culture is patrilineal and allows polygamy and divorce. A man with multiple wives usually lives in a compound with each wife and her children occupying a separate hut. A collection of compounds formed a village, usually headed by a hereditary chief. A noted part of the Fon people's society was their use of female soldiers in combat roles over some 2 centuries. Over 3,000 women trained and served as regular warriors to protect the Fon and to expand its reach. The primary cash crop among these people are yams, cotton, and taro. But the Fon also grows sorghum, sesame, millet, palm, maize, and okra, among other crops for local consumption. Although cattle are kept as a signifier of wealth, they are never milked. Fishing is of primary importance along the coast and in the Volta region. There is a great variety of food among the Fon people. The main food is lapati, bread made of various kinds of flour. Lapeti is dipped into sauces and eaten. Traditional households eat porridge for breakfast, which is made from millet, corn, yam, or manure. Merchants on street corners in southern towns sell deep-fried dumplings made from pounded bananas or beans. Fish and chicken are the most common meats. In the area of dressing among the Fon people, women usually wear African pagdis. These have dazzling colors and patterns and often have a matching headscarf. Men traditionally wear the Buba style, loose, long and flowing cotton shirts over pants. The Fon culture is well known for their religious ceremonies. Drums are always used as a sort of special meaning in every activity that takes place. The voodoo ceremonies usually begin with the playing of the drums, and then an initiate will fall into a trance and become possessed by a spirit. Voodoo events are not only intriguing to members but outsiders as well. The silver works of Fon people, such as silver buffalo, served as objects of power and prestige owned by a ruler of the Fon kingdom. Ochu, also a Fon artwork, African fetishes, is used for beneficial or evil purposes. This statue has a thick patina of hues consisting of libations, feathers, pieces of wood, fabric, and padlocks. The Fon are famous for the making of fetishes at the warring pace with complex patinas. One outstanding aspect of the Fon people is in the way they usually greet each other, even if they are strangers.
colorful, artful, and intriguing. The fun people. It is always amazing to explore yet another African culture. If you would like us to explore any particular one, just send us a message on our WhatsApp, on our social media handles, and we'll love to do that all the time. Now, moving from an interesting people, the fun people, we're going to be going to a more beautiful, fascinating place. And our location, it's Botswana. Our destination, Okavango Delta.
Welcome to the iconic Okavango Delta, a vast, imposing landscape dissected by glittering waters and crisscrossed by animal tracks, where nature is at its most elemental and survival of the fittest is the only mantra. The Okavango Delta is one of the largest freshwater wetlands in southern Africa. This delta in northwest Botswana comprises permanent marshlands and seasonally flooded plains. It is one of the very few major interior delta systems that do not flow into a sea or ocean, with a wetland system that is almost intact. Flooding to over 15,000 square kilometers, the Okavango Delta is the world's largest inland delta. Known as an endorheic delta, its waters drain instead into the desert sands of the Kalahari Basin. Permanent crystal clear waters and dissolved nutrients transform the otherwise dry Kalahari Desert habitat into a scenic landscape of exceptional and rare beauty, and sustain an ecosystem of remarkable habitat and species diversity, thereby maintaining its ecological resilience and amazing natural phenomena. The Okavango Delta is home to 1,068 plant species. The mainland in the delta is characterized by a mosaic of grassland and woodland communities composed of trees, shrubs, and understory herbs. Basically, the vegetation is notably drier than the swamp. The Okavango Delta is both a permanent and seasonal home to a wide variety of wildlife, which is now a popular tourist attraction. All of the big five game animals, that is, the lion, leopard, African buffalo, African bush elephant, and rhinoceroses, both black and white, are present. Other species include giraffe, blue wild beast, plains zebra, hippopotamus, impala, common eland, roan antelope, cheetah, African wild dog, and Nile crocodiles, among others. Indeed, Botswana supports the world's largest population of elephants, numbering around 130,000. The Okavango Delta is the core area for this species' survival. The delta also hosts over 400 bird species, including the common ostrich, secretary bird, helmeted guinea fowl, African fish eagle, and Peel's fish owl, among others. The Okavango Delta is home to 71 fish species, including the tigerfish species of tilapia and various species of catfish. The Okavango Delta was designated a wetland of international importance in 1996 and a World Heritage Site in 2016. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is the backdrop to Wild Africa's grand spectacle, presenting unparalleled